Good morning, students. I hope you are fine at your homes. So this lecture is going to be for class 9th and I will teach you few topics related to chapter motion. I hope that you have watched my previous lecture, and in this lecture we will discuss about equations of motion and we will derive all the equations of motion. So students, there are three equations of motion. So I am writing all the equations and then I will explain all the equations. So the very first equation which you have to learn, that is V is equal to U plus AT. Second equation is S is equal to UT plus half AT square. And third equation is V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. So this is all about three equations of motion. This you have to learn, and this you should know about the proof of these equations. Okay, so before starting what is the equation or the proof, so I should begin with all the terms which are used. I will explain all the terms. The first thing which I have written is V. So V is, students, velocity. You should be aware about velocity. So velocity is speed of a body in a particular direction. I hope that you have watched my previous lectures, then you can correlate this, or if you haven't watched, I will explain properly. So velocity is the speed of a body in a particular direction, and it is a scalar or vector. It is a vector physical quantity. This you have to remember. For example, speed can be in any random direction, but velocity have a particular direction. For example, suppose we are standing on the top of the roof of our home and we just thrown out a stone from the top, and then the motion of the particular stone will follow a particular path, a certain path, and that will be known as the velocity. We will not say that the object have acquired the speed or the stone have acquired the speed. We will say the object have acquired the velocity because the object will go in a particular direction. Okay, so when the object is moving in a particular direction, we say the object is acquiring the velocity. So this you have to remember, its unit is meter per second. And velocity formula is velocity is equal to displacement upon time. Speed is given by distance upon time and velocity is displacement upon time. So what is displacement? This I will explain because displacement is used here as well. In S is actually the displacement. So displacement is, suppose we have 2 points A and B. Okay, this is how we can go from A to B. This is how also we can go, or this is how we can go, this is how we can go. But which path is going to be the shortest? We will say one straight line, just draw one straight line. This is going to be the shortest path. So the shortest length or the shortest path between two particular point is always the displacement. So displacement is the shortest path, and this is also a vector physical quantity. This is totally different by that of distance. This you have to remember. Distance actually cannot be zero, but displacement can be zero. For example, suppose I start from point A and I am returning back to point A. So displacement we will calculate like the final position. This is how we calculate the displacement, final position minus initial position. So here we can say the final as well as the initial position are same. I started from A, I back to A, I am coming back to a point A. So here the displacement is 0. So this is how we calculate the displacement, by obtaining the final position as well as the initial position. For further detail you can watch the previous lectures. Now students, this was about V and S. So now U is also the velocity, I will explain. Okay, and A is actually the acceleration. So what is acceleration? I already have promised you that before starting the equations, I will explain all the terms which are used, okay, so that you can understand in well manner. So A is actually, students, acceleration. What is acceleration? You have heard this word acceleration somewhere. Yes, you have actually. When we are riding bikes, so we say there is accelerator, okay. When we are riding cars, when we are driving cars, so we have accelerator, okay. तो हम कहते भी हैं कि accelerator पे पैर रख दिया. Accelerator, when we are using the term accelerator, what happens? Actually changes the speed, or we can say it changes the velocity. So accelerator is actually changing the velocity with respect to time. Okay, time will be also consumed while changing the velocity. This is not possible that at 9 a.m. our speed is 60 and at the same time 9 a.m. our speed will be 80. No, it will consume time and then our velocity will be changed. So acceleration is actually the change in velocity. Okay, and so we can say the change in velocity. How to define acceleration? Change in velocity with respect to time is known as acceleration. So students, this is the acceleration. Suppose an object was initially moving with u speed, for example, and a body is moving with a speed of 30, okay, and after 1 hour its speed become 50. So that initial speed is denoted by small u, okay. So u is initial velocity and v is the final velocity. So what will be the acceleration? Change in velocity, as we have written, with respect to time. So change in velocity v minus u with respect to time means we have to divide it by time because we are calculating the rate. Okay, so this is how we represent the acceleration. And what will be its unit? So v minus u, actually v is actually velocity. Velocity will be in meter per second and time is also in second. So what you will get? Meter per second square. So this is the unit for acceleration. This you have to remember. Now a I have explained, t already is the time, u v already I have explained, s is the displacement. So the terminologies which are going to be used in this particular three equations I have explained. So now we can go for the proof of the equations. So I am going to begin with the first equation. First equation of motion. So students, let us consider our body. Let us consider an object or a body moving with velocity u, and after time t its velocity becomes v. Suppose we have considered an object. In starting it was moving with u velocity and after time t its velocity becomes v. So now students, what will be the acceleration? I already have explained you acceleration represented by a, that is rate of change of velocity, or we can say change in velocity divided by time taken So what is the change in velocity? V minus u. And what is the time taken? T. So this is the acceleration. Now we can do cross multiply. So what you will get? V minus u is equal to at. Now students, when we will shift minus u on another side, this will become plus u. So v is equal to u plus at. So this is the proof for first equation of motion. I hope you really understood this. And students, you can take the screenshot of the particular screen for noting it down somewhere, because I have to erase it. I have to solve further equations. I hope you understood. So second equation of motion I am going to prove. And students, language remain almost similar. That is why I am not erasing the language which I have written for first equation of motion. I can use this language, but you have to write it further once again if you are noting it down. So let us consider an object moving with velocity u, and after time t its velocity becomes v. So this is fine. Now students, suppose the body is moving initially with u velocity, then its velocity during the journey becomes v. So what is the average velocity? Average velocity we can calculate. What is average formula? In class 8 you have studied the formula for average. Average is sum of observation. There are two observations, u and v, divided by number of observations. So this is the average velocity, u plus v divided by 2. Now what is the distance or displacement? Distance or displacement is written as s. So s is equal to, there is a formula for displacement, average velocity into time. The formula you have to remember. Okay, so velocity into time. Or this is not a new formula for you. You are already aware about. If you remember, speed is equal to distance upon time. This you have studied Okay, so what will be the value of distance? Speed into time by cross multiplication. So same formula we have written. So S is equal to, what is average velocity? U plus V divided by 2. What is the time? T. Now students, if we are very smart and we already have learned the equations, then we can see ut plus half at square. Okay, so which term is missing and which term is extra for us? V is extra for us. V is not there already. Okay, we can check it out. So V we have to replace by any other value. So that is why we should remember the first equation of motion. So first equation of motion statement is, first equation already if we have learned, V is equal to U plus AT. This is the equation and this we can consider as second equation. Okay, now substitute the value of V. Substitute value of V in equation second. If you will substitute the value of V here, so S is equal to how much? U plus, in place of V, there will be U plus AT divided by 2 into time T. So S is equal to U plus U, 2U plus AT divided by 2 into time T. Now students, 2 you can take separately on both the denominators. Okay, and now just simplify this. 2 and 2 gets cancelled out, and when you will solve it further and you will open the bracket, so U into T, UT plus AT into T, AT square. You can see 2 is in the denominator, but our notation will be in this way. We will write S is equal to UT plus half AT square, and this is known as the second equation of motion. So this is the proof for second equation of motion. You can write it somewhere if you want, okay, or you can take the screenshot for making out the notes. So now I am going to solve third equation of motion. As I already have told you, I am working little smart. That is why the things which are required for me, I will not erase. Okay, so that I can save time and duration of the lecture. So students, this is going to be the third equation of motion. Language remain little bit similar. So let us consider an object moving with velocity u, and after time t its velocity becomes v. Average velocity is required for us, so that I have written. So what is the formula for displacement or distance? I already have told you. So displacement, S is equal to velocity into time. We have used in second equation as well. So S is equal to, what is velocity? U plus v upon 2, average we will consider, into time t. Now again, if we work smart and we think in this way, V is equal to U and 2 and A and S. There is no T available at all. So T we have to replace by any other value. That is why we will use first equation of motion, and from first equation of motion, first equation if we use, by first equation V is equal to U plus AT. So what will be the value of AT? AT will be plus U will shift there and becomes minus U. So AT is equal to V minus U. What will be the value of T? V minus U divided by A. Now let us substitute this value in this particular equation second. Substitute value of T in equation second. So what will be there? S is equal to U plus V upon 2 into V minus U upon A. Now students, you are smart enough so that you can apply the identity V plus U, V minus U. This is one identity, A plus B, A minus B. That is A square minus B square. So same for here, S is equal to V plus U, V minus U, V square minus U square. Divided by 2 into A, 2A. Now do cross multiplication. What you will get? V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Yes or no? Now students, minus U square shifted there becomes plus U square. So V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. This is known as the third equation of motion. So these all are the proof of all three equations. I hope you understood. Thank you. God bless you.